All right, this is a trade review on the trade that I took today. RTY or M2K micro longs. Probably could have traded Russell actually. But anyways, um, double confirmation trade. We saw. Let's check it out. Gotta go see the first picture. Here we go. So we had Russell coming down, and some of the timing with this is kind of off. But there was a signal here with calls ripping or it must have been calls ripping, but sometimes this changes oddly enough. But anyways, there was like a strong signal. I already had the original trade signal happening, so I got in small size first as we had the SMT with the YM, and not only that, we also had ES breaking the lows. We had Nasdaq creating SMT. Not necessarily looking for these to create SMT, but when YM does it, and then these guys are all doing it too, and Russell is actually relative strengthening, then that's a clear signal to get long. So I started getting long, and then double confirmation, boom, we got the whoops, wrong picture. Confirmation from the flows. So that was the trade idea. Um, Here's the executions here. Initially, I did make a mistake. So, sorry. First of all, I waited till we broke this low because I knew we would need to seek liquidity somewhere. And there was a nice clean order block right here. As you can see, totally respected it there. Here's the 1 minute. Um, Here's the order block. Boom, ba-bang, clean respect. So I just started marketing in right there. Um, then I realized I accidentally had 30 contracts on. So I was like, crap. So I instantly just put a quick take profit order right there just to get out and lock in some gains. Sorry, not to lock in the gains, to just de-risk. Because I knew we would probably retrace a little bit before if we were going to head lower. So quickly got out of that extra size. So that was actually, I would consider that slightly skillful, but mostly luck. So I do feel lucky there. That was a mistake. I should not have just blindly, I should have had it on 5. I had it on 10 because I knew I was going to get in, with some good size. But yeah, anyways, made a mistake there. So that's one mistake I made. Just too much size. Um, so that's why I have this as A minus. I had an 8 conviction just because it was just very fast and I did get a little bit emotional and I had conviction, but I was a little bit doubtful because it was happening so fast and I was like um, second guessing myself. And then I gave myself an 8 performance just because that risk management was pretty terrible. Other than that, I nailed it for for the trade. It was a win, got better risk management, could have held for more, is what I realized after doing this review, first of all. Yeah, pretty good 4-hour trade. That's why I took profits, because I was already up pretty nicely. But now let's dive into one thing that I learned from this trade. We've already kind of talked about everything else. Um, Basically, this is why I got out. So here was where the little range right here is where I exited fully, knowing that I could have held up into here for at least some runners. And even further actually up into here. Would have actually caught the tip top. Um, but anyways, the reason for that was we had a huge dump in the calls, and I'm like, that is not what I want to see at all. That is terrible news for my trade. And then Rise exited. That's where we ripped, by the way. Um, but the thing here was I should have been paying attention to the actual amount of premium. And this was so low. Yes, it was having influence on price for sure. But not only that, but in the SPY too, I was getting a little nervous about what was happening in the Tide and in the SPY. But the volumes and premiums weren't actually that high relative to like a normal day. And so I should have actually waited that much less than I did versus the actual price action here. You can see I exited in here, and this was where my major actual target, my first real target, was like, this is the first target I want to just get out at. But I was taking things off early, first of all, and then I took everything off because of the tide. But normally I would have at least held my first profits, big profits into here, and then up here. But I did get shaken out because of that. Um, I've been trying to figure out that little nuance there, like, okay, how can I know when they're, because that's happened to me before, where the premiums tell me to exit, and then it still plays out exactly what I was hoping for, and I miss out. So that's the nuance that I learned, was to really pay attention to the weighting. So yeah, I saw a signal. So yeah, maybe take some more out, but not exit the whole thing and do leave a runner, because we still had that very strong SMT here happening, signaling that this was definitely going to at least hit into a high premium above these stronger relative equal highs, and then even up into here, because we did have um, very strong SMT here. So not necessarily saying that I should have held up to here. I'm really talking about up into here instead of up into there. So that would have added another 2-3R to my trade. So that is a lot of money to be missing out on, especially for the risk. It made sense to leave on a lot of size for that from a risk standpoint. So yes, I think I did good taking my initial profits, maybe here and here, but I think I should have left this runner or somewhat of a runner up in here. I just exited everything right there. So still a good trade, A minus, because I hadn't figured out that nuance yet. So normally, if I did this again, now knowing that what I know now, I think I would give myself more of like a B, because, which is 2 grades lower, because of that. Now I know. So I'll have to keep that in mind for future, knowing to be careful with reasons to exit. There's only 0.2 million premiums there. It's like, dude, that is not that much. So yeah, other than that, it was a really good trade, and gonna take note of that as a lesson there. So yeah, good one to review, and yeah, maybe just quick analysis here. You can see we came right up into these, and the flow is still continuing to be bearish. They're selling calls a lot and buying puts. So I still think that this could take these out before we really get a dump. But other than that, I've already made my trade. So yeah. Anyways, that is my review. That's the video. Heck yeah, let's get it. Whatever.